Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Hitich, and welcome to this podcast. So the first thing that I always ask my guests to do is speak us and tell us more about yourself and how did you started the domain name industry.
Thank you, Ayub, for inviting me to this podcast. It's an honor for me. And regarding me, actually, I'm not a full-time domainer. Okay, actually I'm a programmer. By heart, I'm a developer. Okay, I started my career way back in 1995. Okay, I started with the programming languages known as C, C++, Foxtrot, DBase. Then we had Visual Basic also, and after that I shifted to PHP. Then after that I didn't change my language. Now it's only PHP. Okay, and I
Mhm.
since the start of my career, I have been basically into business. Okay, I have been basically running my own company. Right now, its name is Webbox Technologies. Okay, formerly it was known as Divine Techies. Okay,
Mhm.
and yeah, I changed the name due to some domain issues and all. So uh, from there, actually, I realized that the domain is very important actually for your business. Okay, and regarding my domaining career, actually, I was basically going through some blogging articles in 2014 actually. Okay,
Mhm.
and at that time I met one of my friends also. Actually, I forgot to tell you, I had a basically online store also, Cotton Cart. I started that store in 2012 and shut it down in 2013. It was like
Okay.
you can say basically a apparel store. Okay, I was trying to sell these kurtis and jutis and all the Indian heritage things all. Okay,
Mhm.
but due to some like you can say due to my personal problems, actually I had to shut that thing.
Mhm. Okay, no problem.
And then that in 2014, I basically rented that domain for $50 cotton card to someone in my friend circle. But unfortunately, he was not also able to run the show. And
Okay.
in 2016, when I was scrolling through Facebook blogs and everything, okay, then you can say by fluke actually I met Mr. Manmeet Singh, okay, the owner of you can say the founder of Domain X, okay, and
Mhm.
he basically introduced me to this domaining world. And from 2017 Jan onwards, I came full time into domaining. Not the full time, basically I took it seriously.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that was where the journey actually started. And sale wise, my first domain was a .in domain, which was sold to a newspaper agency locally here in Chandigarh, and that was approximately $200.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and it
Okay.
was hand registered for just I think so 200 rupees. That is around $3.
Okay. Awesome. So, was it an inbound sale or outbound?
Yes. It was an inbound sale. I was asking for 25,000 rupees, but I was able to get approximately 20,000 rupees for that. He negotiated well, actually, or you can say I was not good at negotiation. I thought, okay, fine, I'm getting that much money, let it go. It
Yes.
was like that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then I started my outbound also in 2017, and my first domain was sold on, I think, on 7th or 8th of December, and it
Mhm.
was bicycle accident attorneys. That domain I sold for $695.
Okay. Awesome.
My first outbound sale.
That's awesome. I think in 2016 till 2017, the outbound wasn't too much famous in that time, and
Right,
especially
right, right,
and
right.
especially I think if I remember, GoDaddy has a tool that was good for to find the geo domains, because in the SEO at that time, geo domains have a lot of value because the Google ranked the geo names first at that time.
Right,
So I
right,
believe
right, right.
I think in that time you have made outbound also for geo domains.
Yes. Actually, I started in 2017 and 2018, 19. I was doing totally outbound and even 2020, 20. Like I'm doing outbound till now, actually. Okay.
Mhm.
But since 2022, I'm not doing on a regular basis. The outbound has taken a back seat. But yes, of course, I've sold a lot of domains on an average of I sell around 80 to 90 domains per month. Oh, sorry, per year.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So
And
okay.
Yeah, and apart from that, there are approximately 15 to 20 domains for inbound.
That's awesome. So nice. Now you said that you learned about and discover the domain name industry in 2015 or 16. How
Yeah.
did your starting search? How did you start searching for domaining and knowing about outbound, inbound, and stuff like that? Did you search it on Google, for example? Did you listen to the domain Sherpa or started to find name pros, or where exactly did you started learning the process of doing outbound and selling inbound and all that stuff?
See, it came to my mind like because the domains were not selling actually by its own. Okay, because geo domains nobody basically buys are sold by inbound actually. So the problem was that to sell my inventory because I bought approximately 125 names altogether. Okay, and they were basically belonging to US and Europe region, and that was a lesson for me. I basically bought all these with cars, used cars, and all like the city name and cars, use city name or used car, and that was more major of the European area. Okay, that was my fault actually because I tried to do the, outbound for that, but I couldn't succeed. Then later on, I shifted my focus to lawyer niche. Okay, lawyer, cleaning, and other niches, and to the US. And from where I learned all these things, actually, I was still a regular reader at name pros. Okay, and
Okay.
I will basically recommend everyone in the industry who are starting or who are old, basically, or who have just started into this. Go to Name Pros, go to DN Forum, go to DN Graduate, go to GoDaddy Garage, go to DN Journal, Domain Sherpa, Rex Blog. There are so many, plenty of information available regarding the selection of domain, regarding the outbound, regarding inbound, or how you should book the domain, how should transfer the domain. Each and everything is now available on the internet. So you have a lot of material, but at that time it was not there. So, but the only resource which I found most useful was Name Pros and Domain Sherpa in general.
Yes, that's awesome. Even me, when I started learning about this,
Uh-huh.
I find a lot of people that they think teaching about domaining,
Okay.
the only saying just general information. There is no specific information. So
Okay.
I started first of all buying a lot of courses that they teach nothing, to be honest.
Okay.
And then after I started searching, I found name pros. Most of the thing that I learned was from name pros.
Name
This is
Pros,
why
yes.
even for my audience, I always ask them and recommend them to go to name pros to learn. So regarding outbound marketing, I know that
Go ahead.
now I know that now you have your own system that you use, but before that
Yes.
you used to do outbound using manual things, which means
Yes.
sending
Right.
emails manually and then doing follow up manually and stuff like that. So
Right. Correct.
how did you handle that? Because a lot of my audience, let's say at the moment, they don't have money uh, to invest in, for example, Snow.io or build their
Mhm.
own system. So how did you started the process of manual sending? Did you do, for example, outbound for only one domain until you finish contacting these people? You go to the other one, or how do you handle this?
See, actually, I was having a team for that. Actually, I was into development, so the people who were into data entry and SE and all, they were actually free. So what I
Mhm.
used to do is I used to give them the domain. I used to ask them to go through the Whois also because at that time Whois was available.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and I've also got the tool called WhoXY also.
Mhm.
So from there, they used to get the Whois details. Then I used to basically go ask them to go to each and every website and get the email address from that from their websites. Okay, if they could
Mhm.
find the like the management email ID, then it was good. Otherwise, I used to mail it on info at something email ID, or you can say contact at something something email ID. Okay, whatever it
Mhm.
was. Okay, then I used to basically compose an email, draft an email, for every domain, I used to basically do approximately 1 to 2 domains daily. Okay, and that was a process for 5 days. It was not like I was choosing some day, like it would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It was like all 5 days I used to do. That means I was doing every day. I was doing one domain. Okay, the team used to find the email IDs. The team used to basically compose the email IDs, and they used to send the email IDs. Oh, sorry, the emails, the outbound emails to the prospects.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, that was the process. And what email I was using, like the people ask actually. Actually, I was using Gmail. I was using Yahoo at that time. I was using Hotmail. All free email IDs, which I could use basically because I didn't wanted to spoil my company's email ID. Okay, reputation of my company email ID, or my hosting IP address. So that is why I basically chose those these Gmail free Gmails and Hotmail IDs.
Yes. Even at this time, even maybe 2 days ago, I sold a name which is a geo name using my Gmail
Okay.
account. The people still
Wow.
making sales with Gmail account. The most
Right.
important thing that you need your Gmail account to be professional. Don't have, for example, name dots 123 or name dash 345.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
You must have first name last name or Mr. First name last name, and then you can start doing outbound with no problem. Regarding the
Right. Right.
outbound things, there is one other question in mind, because for
Mm-hmm.
me, I have my own criteria to find domains. I think you already
Okay.
see it in our session last time. So
Right.
mainly my main criteria is
Mm-hmm.
the name must have at least 100 search volume per month, and have a cost per click
Mm-hmm.
minimum of $1, and also have at least 10 people in Google Maps. Now we are
Mm-hmm.
talking about geo domains, not keyword domains, because keyword domains are different things. For you, what is your criteria to find, let's say, geo domains, and then we talk about keyword domains?
Initially, I also used to believe the same thing, but with the experience, I learned that you need to have at least 20 to 25 prospects for that uh, no, geo name actually.
Mhm.
Okay, the CPC doesn't matter actually. CPC or volume doesn't matter. Even if it's a 50 volume and there are 3 4 companies, then they are going to rank. Okay, or even if the CPC is 5 3 or $1, doesn't matter, but they will basically bypass that thing by promoting their website or their ranking their website. Okay, so I basically pitch it like that. But if like we spoke a few days back, like if they don't buy, then I pitch them as a domain. I tell them the value of the domain. Okay, how the it's going to be valuable in future.
Yes, that's true. Well, for doing outbound, most of the time when you get a reply from a buyer, let's say
Mm-hmm.
let's say for example, you talk with a buyer, and this buyer, let's say, refuse to get your domain. So what are the main things that you use to convince this person to buy? Are you, let's say, talking about marketing things, search volume and cost per click, or for example, are you adding more things beside of this?
See, initially I start with just giving him one line, like we are basically representing the sale of this domain, and if you are interested in buying this domain, okay, fine. If he replies no or not interested, then I, for the time being, I ignore that mail. But after a few days, I again try to those people. But in some cases, when they say how much, they get the price. Okay, in some cases, when they say how, ask them for the price and don't return, revert back to my mails, then basically I tell them like this is the CPC, this is the volume, and these are the points how you can rank this domain. Okay, in the search engines, and it could benefit, and these are the benefit of ranking these domains, and this is how you will get the traffic. So it's approximate a paragraph with me.
Mhm.
Okay, a small paragraph with me, which I basically cut and paste over there by just changing the CPC, the keywords and everything. Okay, and yeah, that's what I do.
Yes. Even me, when I try to contact a person,
Mm-hmm.
I always don't give much information at the start. I always just talk about this domain is for sale. So I get a reply. And after this person ask me about some information, then at that moment, I give him some information regarding the domain, search volume, cost per click, and stuff like that. I also do the same. Okay, that's good. Now we talk about making sales with the Gmail account. Now let's talk about professional account. Are you using G Suite or using let's say Microsoft 365, or what system are you using?
So I used to actually use Microsoft 365, but I left it actually. Right now, basically, I'm having my multiple servers. Okay, multiple servers. You can just shared hosting. I'm clouds hosting. I'm having dedicated servers also for my business, for my web development business. So I use those servers also. Apart from that, I use Zoho also. Apart from that, I also G Suite also with my company email ID. Okay, so I use a mix of all the email IDs to send the mails.
Okay, and your emails go to inbox, not going to spam, because recently I started using Zoho Mail, and a lot of my emails go to spam. So how do you do to first to warm up, let's say, Zoho Mails?
See, yes, of course, I basically warm up my Zoho mails or the free email IDs basically. Uh, I do a regular warm up, the standard warm up of 21 days. Okay, it's basically 21 to 28 days
It
for
was manual warm up.
no, it's a manual for Zoho and every other email IDs. Okay, but for Gmail, I use Gmail's
Yes,
one.
yes.
Okay, and manually I do it. Of course, not me. My team does it. Okay, they do manually. Initially, they send 10 mails, then they upgrade to 15, then they go to 18, 22, 25. It's a cycle basically until and unless they reach 100 mails per day. Okay, and slowly, I keep on increasing the email quota, daily quota for that.
Okay, and do you add, let's say, DKIM, DMARC, SPF, MX record? Do you
Yes,
add?
that all. Yes. I do all the verification of all the DMARC, SPF, and every record.
Okay, that's awesome. So now let's talk about countries and niches that you target. Are you mainly working in USA only, or you are doing like me, working on USA, Canada, Australia, UK, and recently started also testing some New Zealand domains? And what are the niches that you are targeting? For me, I sold a lot of names in low niches. I sold a lot of names in cleaning niches and also in limousine niches. So what about you?
So of course, my main focus has been US and Canada only. Apart from that, I used to do in Australia. I used to buy the domains for Australia also, but for New Zealand, I never experimented. And for the Europe also, I sold few domains in Europe also, but never tried for New Zealand or any other kind, another you can say like this country or city. Okay, apart from US and Canada, my main focus is US and Canada. And for the niches, you can say it's from cleaning niches, okay, financial services, uh, uh, pet services, like pet sitter, like it's like pet sitter or a dog trainer. Then apart from that, I told you that about this lawyer niches, paralegal services, designers, decorators, assisted living is one of the key. This thing, disaster recovery services are also there, repair services are there. Okay, and there are gas doors also, interior decoration also.
Did
Actually,
you
sold a lot of so many domains, even handyman, janitor also.
one more thing? Have you tried the medical niches? Because I had a bad experience with medical niches. I think I have 2 or 3 medical niches because it's not easy to find SCUs and presidents of medical niches. Have you had any successful experience with that?
Not primarily actually, because I don't remember even if I sold any medical domain. But I did bought those names, but never had a good experience with them. Like maybe 1 or 2 have sold it, but I don't remember the name. I will have
Yes.
to check my database for that.
Yes, even me, I don't have a lot of sales regarding medical niches. But in contrary, I have a lot of sales in services niche. Services niche, people buy it a lot, buy a lot of
Right,
services niches.
right, right.
So mainly when you start contacting these people, are you targeting only issues, or you are finding and contacting any email that you find on that website?
Any email ID on the website, because see, the domains we are basically doing outbound for are basically small services, small industry actually. So I don't think so these companies would be having some kind of GM or director or something like that. So they are all mostly are proprietors or partners, and on their email IDs they have only two or three email, like it's info at their domain name.com, or support their domain name.com, help, or contact, or hello.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I try to find, first of all I try to find who is. If I find who is, then I send email to that address. Okay, if I don't find it, then I go through their websites and search for their email IDs.
So mainly the inventory of the domains, you find it through your targets only expired domains, let's say available domains, or you are doing a lot of both of them, expired domains, close out, pending delete. And also, did you try to do outbound for a higher premium name, let's say very good names that's worth let's say 10,000 and even 20,000 and more?
You can say yes, I've tried it basically, but I couldn't success. But last year actually I sold one domain for Jay Padial and Arun Bansi. That was ledger.ia. I basically broke it for them. It was an outbound to ledger.com. Okay, and there was one more domain, schoolos.com. That was basically a school operating system, some software industry in the school, for the school actually, software for school. And that was they both were outbound. Okay, so ledger.io was sold for $120,000, and school OS was sold for $14,000.
Yes, I think I have seen a post that you made with him in LinkedIn regarding this. Yes. Well, congratulations again for that sale, and
thank you.
I
And
hope
it's also mentioned, and these are the only two domains which are mentioned in my name on name bio.
That's awesome. I hope that you mention more and more.
Yes, I'm working on another two deals actually. I'm brokering them, and I
Okay.
will tell you soon. Once the deal closes, then definitely I will disclose it. And they are again good and heavy domains basically. Let's see.
So hope that it will be closed very soon, and why not sold for $1 million and more? Why not?
No, they are not 1 million, but of course they are less than $100,000, but above $50,000.
Okay, so mainly most of your sales outbound are three figures, four figures.
Mainly they are three figures. They are in the range of geo names are basically in the three figures, and they are ranging from $200 to $600.
Okay, awesome. Well,
and the sweet spot for me is $299.
$299, yes. For me, 240, 45, I think.
Okay.
For me, I always ask this price.
Okay.
Well, that's awesome that you share with us all this field. So mainly, yeah, I am like me. Mainly, I do outbound for a full time, and also invest in inbound domains. I invest in domains in closeouts. I invest in domains in that are already listed in brandable marketplaces like Squad Help and Brand Bucket, and also doing some handrage that's I listed for three figures, four figures. So because of that, we now we'll talk about inbound domains. So how do you find inbound domains? Are you doing like me, searching on in all that field, or you have a specific places? Let's say, for example, you don't do handrage and you work only on closeouts and good at the expired. So for you, the inventory of inbound domains that you will wait for them, where do you search for it?
For inbound domains, you can say basically some kind of brandable names or a keyword, high value keyword domains, or two name domains, or you can say two word domain. I basically search for closeouts. I go for GoDaddy auctions also. I basically, if the domain is in pending list, I basically back order them on Namejet and Dropcatch. I got so many domains on NameRight due to this Dropcatch thing. Yeah, and of course, yeah, I've listed them all in 4 figures, 5 figures. I do have some one words also, but not in .com extension, but in some other extensions.
Okay. So you mentioned that you search for these domains on closeout and
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
independent delete. Do you have any criteria to find these domains, or you just feel that you just see the name, you feel that it's good, you like it, and you go for it?
Yeah, of course. Basically, what the criteria is, why the person has dropped the domain. First of all, the first thing comes to my mind is why the existing person who was having this keyword domain or this high keyword domain dropped that name. This is the first criteria thing. Then I researched the domain on the sites like archive.org, if there was any website or who was the owner and everything. I do the research on for that. Okay, I use whoxy.com and go to
Yeah.
his whois history for that. I research for that domain. Okay, and then the research on this all the other websites. If you could find something related to that, sometimes I find the domains which is related, which are basically mentioned on clutch.com, which are mentioned on angel.co or some other these angel funding websites. Okay, then I just register that domain because I hope so that they are basically either got basically dropped by mistake or they have dropped the idea, but because those names are good, so somebody may pick in the future. Okay, so that's the criteria. Basically, I'll go for these domains.
So mainly you check this domain if it was
Yes.
it was already let's say the person was working with it and then let it drop or forget to renew it.
Yes.
And
Yeah. If it
sometimes
has a bad history, if it has a bad history or something like that, that I don't buy that domain. Okay. Like,
yes, sometimes we get some names that other domainers let it drop, or a huge domain let it drop.
right.
So how do you handle this? Do you decline and not buy any domains like this, or if you like the name and you believe in this name, you buy it, even another domain let it drop?
No, I will buy the domain. If I like the domain, then I go with my gut feeling. If I like the domain, I see like there's a value in this and it could sell in next 10 to 8 years, then I will buy that domain. Because I feel like that the $70 investment, my $70 investment is going to turn at least $2,500. So the ROI is very big.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I just buy that domain if I like that.
Yes, mainly for me too. I search using some keywords that I collected during these years. I have my own keyword list. I search with it, and also I always check .db to see how many domains are registered. Yes, sometimes even if it doesn't have any .net, .org or anything else, even if they did have nothing, the main important thing is the name must be good pronounceable, easy to spell, easy to remember. And one more thing, I always check hoster sites, because hoster site is show the history of the DNS of this domain. That's for example, I see if it was on Sido, it was in, because sometimes in archive it doesn't give you everything, but hoster site it give you all the DNS that it was there in the past years. So mainly in these domains that I buy, I have maximum. I don't buy names in more than $300. This is the max that I buy. Recently I buy a domain for $700. It was my mistake because I was attached emotionally with that name, but no problem. With the experience, with mistakes we learned a lot. So for you, do you do the same, or you have any maximum that you will put on a name, or if you like the name, you can even go with this name until $5,000?
No. Actually, I've just like say my capacity maximum is $300. Like you said, my capacity is over $300. The maximum domain, I think so, I bought it for $275 it was. And still remember the name. It's iqdesk.com. And I sold it to the company iqdesk.net. I've already sold it. It was in 2019 or 18. I don't remember actually.
Was it outbound?
Yeah, it was outbound and I sold it within basically 20 days of buying, 25 days of buying.
Okay, that's awesome.
That was the maximum domain I bought. But nowadays, actually, I'm buying other, like I told you, that other CCTLDs and other GTTLDs I'm buying. And they are mostly in the range of 100 and 150. That I'm keeping for the long term.
Yes. So regarding the other TLDs, what are the other TLDs that you invest in? Do you invest in all the TLDs, XYZ, the VC, the IO? What are the EN? What are the other TLDs that you invest in?
I've got, it's a mixed bag actually. I've got few domains in .pe extension also, that is for Peru. I've got some .bz extension also. I've got XYZ also.
.gg.
I've got .vc also, .io also, .co also. And apart from that, regular ones are always there, .org, .com, .net. .in also, because I'm basically belong to India.
Yes.
So I have got a couple of extensions in .in also.
So mainly are one word domains or two words, three
words?
No.
They mostly are one word domains. One word domains, or you can say 3-letter domains.
Okay, that's awesome. So mainly my audience, I explain to them how they can find domains in closeout, in doing hand range, because as you know, going to auctions, it's extremely dangerous for them because they are new to this field, so they can get emotionally attached with this with a domain name which they can buy it for overpriced. So what are your advices to people that they start knowing about going to auctions, drop catching, GoDaddy auction and the NipJet auction and stuff like that?
There's no thumb rule, but of course I would just advise them, don't jump into these auctions or backorder auctions at the start of your career. Okay, wait for at least 6 to 7 months until you have the money to lose. Okay, like, because the auctions are now, the auctions which I used to buy for, like, say $100 or $150 way back in 2019 or 18. Nowadays, those auctions are going for $500, $600. Okay, so there is no point in investing that money on a single name. Instead, I will always recommend to you at the start of your career, if you have got $200, to invest those $200 into 20 different names. Okay, and buy a geo names or keyword domains, hand register them. Don't even go to this drop catch or drop catch discounted drop catching or some other website where like SAV and all, where you can get the domain, it doesn't get bidding and they drop for $8.69. Don't go for that also. Go find your own niche. Okay, because even the pending delete domains or the expired domains are also the domains which have been dropped by other domainers.
Yes.
Okay, so it's always better to find your own niche. Okay, like you found a niche called law. I found the niche basically into services, law, and other things also. Okay, so you have to find your own niche and be sure that you have the domains in that particular. Like, suppose if I'm the person who's representing law niche, okay, then the person should know that the person the person who is a buyer or prospective or the other domainer should know, yes, the Hitesh is having all the law names and he's the only person who will supply the in law niche. Okay, so it should be like that. You should try to create a monopoly of yourself.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah. So and you also should buy those 20 domains and then try to do outbound on a regular basis on each day. Do outbound for one domain. Okay.
Yes.
And when you're starting your career, I would recommend you to basically go for a CPC. Like Ayub said, 100 should be the search volume and CPC should be $1. But now here in my case, at least you should see a CPC of $5 to $6. And 200 search volume, because the logic is here is, which I'm telling you right now, is when you have a 200 search volume, so to get those 200 prospects, the person has to spend $5 for each prospect, okay, to get that person to his website, that search person to his that visitor to his website. So he's spending $1,000 per month. So now now the logic is that it becomes easier for you guys to basically to pitch him like, this is the money you're going to spend to advertise your domain, your website. You have to get the 200 prospects. Okay, so you are going to just buy 200. You are going to just pay $250 or $300 for that domain, and then rank that domains by building some backlinks and all, and you will be those advertisements. Okay, and you will be ranking on the top. So this is the logic basically you have to present to them, and it's the easiest basically to do it. These geo domains as compared to other names.
Yes, thank you so much for these advices. Well, for me, I always, because people, lots of them, I know that they don't have money to invest. So I always give them an advice to start with geo names. They can start only with $15, because very soon, I think in this month of Ramadan, I will do a challenge and a case study with my audience. I will challenge myself. I will challenge myself. I will buy 5 domains with only $15, and I will turn it $500 waiting in a month. In this month of Ramadan, I will start this very soon. This is why I always ask my audience to start with geo names, because this sales and this money that you will get from geo names, you can reinvest them in buying more domains and buying more quality domains and grow up your portfolio. Because you will not go to your bank and get and take money from your earning, or for example, for your the money that you collected within the years. Starts with only geo names, and this money that you get from these geo names, reinvest them in domains to grow up your portfolio. So regarding the portfolio, my question is, what are your advices to people to get a good portfolio, to build a good portfolio, so they can get some good and passive sales? Because my people, I always ask them, once you get some sales in outbound marketing, don't get only attached to outbound. Invest in domains to grow up your portfolio, because someone that have a portfolio of, let's say, 1,000 domain, they will make automatically some sales monthly inbound without doing outbound. So they can make a passive sales. So do you have any advices to people to get a good portfolio?
Yeah, the same advice I am going to give. You start with the geo names, invest as little as you can. Once you make a sale, reinvest that money to a better name, then sell that domain, reinvest the money to the other domains. It's like that. It's a full cycle basically, and one day you will be owning 1,000, 2,000 names, and they will start selling automatically. The STR, that is sell-through ratio, in our domain industry is approximately 1 to 2%. Okay, so if you are having, let's say 1,000 domains, then you will automatically sell 10 domains out of your portfolio each year. Okay, so that's the simple logic. But to start with, I will always recommend to go for geo name, and do have patience. Okay, don't get emotional and buy the domain only for the emotional stuff. Okay, even if you just be hard on yourself for that. If you find the ways not to buy the domain, instead of buying the domain, find the ways not to buy this domain. Okay, I can buy a better name than that. Suppose suppose I am having a domain called, for example, let's say 5 New York sex crime lawyer, something like that. Try to basically upgrade yourself. Okay, come to 3 words, then to 2 words, then to 1 word. Try to upgrade your portfolio like that. Okay, and it's not necessary you go for .com, because it's not possible to now get the .com domains, because it will cost a lot of money. Try to switch to other extensions also, but not now. I'm talking this about after the year. Okay, when you have enough experience to basically now you have got the grip on this industry, then only you start investing in other CCTLDs and GTLDs. Okay, not before that.
There is also one more thing, because lots of people, they start buying domains, they start doing outbound, but they don't
Right.
make any sales, and they get frustrated. And this is normal, because at the beginning you will not master the thing, and you will not get you will not be an expert in selling domains. This is why in my advice I always ask them, when you get for example, you have a domain which is, let's say,
Mhm.
miamidivorcelawyer.com, always when you try to do outbound, always look for similar words that are related to this niche. For example,
Right.
my last sale, which is Toronto luxury apartments.com,
Mhm.
this domain, when I started doing outbound, I do outbound for it, I think in October, in last October, and
Okay.
I don't sell it. So I keep it,
Mhm.
and then I started again contacting with using different words. I started searching with the
Mhm.
Toronto Realtor, Toronto Real Estate Agency,
Okay.
Toronto real estate, luxury real estate. So I started collecting with different words, different
Right.
keywords that helps to find buyers. The more buyer you find, the more chance that you will get to sold a name. I
Right.
always ask them to do so, and even if you never hear me saying that,
Mhm.
try always to do this, because this will help you a lot to get some sales. Do you do private acquisitions in names, or just you are doing hand raise and auctions and stuff like that?
No, my private acquisitions are basically from the groups we basically as from the other domainers through our groups, WhatsApp groups and all. Then they put it for the list for sale at a liquidation price. Otherwise, I don't approach anyone for the bigger names or or you can say the other names. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so basically you don't do private acquisitions.
No, no, I don't do. No.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. So now we talk about outbound, we talk about inbound. Now let's talk about how did you started uh, building the in school and the urban skill, because like me and you, we are teaching domain to other people.
Right.
For me, I don't consider myself an expert in domain name investing, but the thing
Mhm.
that I know, I share it with people, and people now start making a lot of sales. So for you, how did you started thinking about teaching about domaining, and how did you build it, the in school and urban skill?
See, the urban skill was started in 2015. Okay.
Mhm,
And at that time, we were teaching SEO and other photography courses and all offline.
mhm,
Okay. It was basically we were having a premises, an office premises, and in that premises, we were basically inviting the guests and they were doing a lecture to the students. Okay. It was like that. At that time, we never thought of domain. There was some basically like workshops on lecture by workshops by Ashwin Vikhona and couple of more people like
mhm,
domainers. But I was not doing at that time. But at the start of 2020, we basically made up a mind to do for full time for domaining also, because domaining was into it's had blossomed basically, okay, into its full career. Okay, like people were taking access now full as a full time career in India also. So
mhm,
we had a plans to do that, but unfortunately we faced a lockdown. Okay,
mhm,
then we moved it the complete setup to the online system, and we started doing it in March 2020. Okay, I think
mhm,
so. I don't remember that. I will have to check that urban skill link for the first. Whether it was in March. Okay,
mhm.
and after that we basically launched a course and all. We did some random things about domaining, and after that we launched a 5 day course. It was not a 5 day course, but a you can say workshop course.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
where yeah,
Yeah, I see
and
them that it was
yeah,
2024 April.
Yeah,
2020.
24 April. Yeah, 24
Yes.
April, not March, 24 April. And from there, we basically launched the course, and the course was totally free for everyone.
Yes.
Okay, we didn't charge a penny from anyone, but instead we used to encourage them that if you want the money also, then we can provide the money also, and you can return that after this. You make a sale, or when you have the money with you guys. Okay, and then slowly and steadily, we felt that need of this because the urban skill belongs to J4. Okay, then we felt the need like now we should branch out and completely make a separate entity out of urban scale, which should be only dedicated to domaining. Okay, so we then coined the name Dean School and branched out of this urban scale. Now, me and Jay are basically equal partners in that system on this DN School, and we are running the show. Our target is to educate the people also and to educate the companies in India also, so that they start buying these valuable names and took the full advantage of advantage of the domain to promote and grow their companies. So it's not limited to the students only. It's basically we are also teaching to the corporates also here.
Yes, yes. And here also I see Mr. Deepak. I think in India you have a seminar or an event or dedicated to domaining, because I see people on the stage.
Yes, we have a this event called Indian Domain Summit, which we had approximately 3 versions till date. Okay, one was held at the initial one was hosted in Kolkata, then we had in Ranchi, and the last one we had in Amritsar. And after that, we are facing lockdown. So maybe this year, after this names gone, in month of September or October, we'll be basically restarting the offline event. And maybe you never know, we will be doing somewhere in Mumbai or somewhere in South India, in Hyderabad or Bangalore.
Yes, I see also that a lot of you was speakers on NamesCon in South Asia track, because for me the first contact that it was for me and you was on NamesCon, if you remember.
Yes.
So
it was 2020. Yeah.
Yes. So how did you start and thinking about, let's say, go and expose the in school and urban skill and speakers from South Asia in NamesCon?
Thing was like the management of this NamesCon and Jay were having a chat about this, and they basically when we sat together, that we basically thought about this launching a South Asian track. Okay, which should basically for the Asian people, not dedicated to the US or the European people. Because that time 3 tracks were running. One was for the Europe, one was for this US, and one we launched for South Asia. Then we gathered all the renowned domain investors in India, Nepal, Bangladesh,
Pakistan,
and Sri Lanka also, but unfortunately Sri Lankan person couldn't make it. And then we gathered out and we scheduled each and everything. We defined every the itinerary for that, and then submitted to this NamesCon, and we were basically helping out that, like we were basically knowledge partners for them. This they took.
Yes. Even me, I learned a lot of things and also some new things here from Urban Skill and the in school.
Right.
I will share the link again. My audience knows about Urban Skill, and I will share again the link in the description box so people can learn more and more about this. So here also in the Urban Skill, because now I'm seeing videos and thumbnails here, I see some a video inspiring stories from young domainers. I want you just to share with me what are the results of people that have learned from Urban Skill. They have made some good results, they have made some excellent results. So what is your thoughts about this?
Alone in 2020, if I talk about numbers, alone in 2020, we trained actually around 383 students. We basically gave certificate to 383 people who actually studied, and the course was actually 5-day course was done actually 3 or 4 times in that year. Okay, so total was 383. I remember I issued 383 certificates for that. And how they performed, one of the examples is Utsav.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there's a couple of more people. One is Vivek also from Nepal,
Mm-hmm.
and one is Karan from Punjab, and a couple of more people, students also, who have
Yes.
done well actually. Yeah, but as we know, a lot of people are not sharing their sales.
Yes,
So
yes.
that is the thing. The people who are in touch with
Yeah.
me and are sharing sales with me, I will tell about them.
Yes, the
But
sales was in the range of 5 figures, 6 figures, 6 figures, 5 figures.
the sales for them, no, I don't. You can say 5 figures, but of
Mm-hmm.
course the consolidated sale for all of them would be around would be in 4 figures. Yeah, easily in 4 figures.
Yes, yes, that's awesome. Well,
Because the range of geo, because they were all doing geo names, and the
mhm.
geo range for them was $100 to $300.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And what about Dominofy? How did you start Dominofy, and what's Dominofy do? Because I think not people cannot go to Dominofy and this their domains like Brand Packet and Brand and stuff.
Yeah, actually, still they are. It is into plans. Actually, I want to launch a full-fledged marketplace for that. Apart from that marketplace, I'm basically working on some tools that could be very beneficial to the domainers, to the new domainers, as well as the old domainers also. But I will
Mhm.
tell that you later on. How it Domainify started actually. Like I told you, because I wanted to do outbound. Okay,
Mhm.
and to outbound, I needed a company. I was not keen in taking my company Webbox technology into this. Okay, so I just coined the name Domainify for that and registered the domain in 2017 and started the outbound in the name of Domainify. I never did it in the name of myself as an individual. I always did it in the name of Domainify.
Mhm. Yes.
So that is why I took the name Domainify, and what the future plans are. I'm working on few tools which could be very beneficial for these domainers. It could be basically sorting out all your listing problems, all your search things, all your everything. Like what you can think of it as a domainer. Like I need this tool, I need this feature. It will be there. Still, it's under development. Actually, it's still. I would say it will take around 1.5 2 months to launch it.
So I'm waiting I'm waiting for it to be launched so I can use it
Yeah,
because
sure,
because I,
definitely, definitely. And of course, it would be paid too. So
yeah, yeah, of course, it's not.
it won't be free tool like generate domain and other tools, but it will be basically like let's say a complete thing actually.
Yes, I think it will be very helpful because
Yeah,
as you said, it will give all the things that we need.
right.
So that's great. Now I will get some questions that I get from my audience because
Okay,
I post a post for them. I mentioned that I will invite you. Some of them knows you. Some of them know don't. So most of them give me some questions that I will give it to
okay,
you. So the first question is, now you can see that there is a lot of new technologies like handshake domains, crypto domains, and stuff like that.
mhm.
What is the future of domaining? These are these domains that we are buying and selling will be gone, or they keep getting and working and nothing will be changed?
I'm not into actually handshake domains or the Web3 domains, but yes, of course, both the worlds are going to stay.
Mhm.
Okay, Web3 domains will also work, and your these Web2 domains will also work. And they both will work. And of course, as the prices of .com are rising, people will shift to these Web3 domains also. But once they go like they become browser friendly, then definitely yes.
Mhm. Yes, yes. So the other question is, now we are seeing the value of four-letter words. Most of them
Mhm.
we can buy it at least for $100. Do you think
Right.
that five-letter words must they can be also having this value like four-letter words and will become also a liquid domains?
Not in the near future, but maybe it can be possible. Like it would be like in from 10 years, 15 years from now. but not today, because there are so many four-letter words basically which are not being, which basically don't fascinate these domainers. Okay, so they are still selling for $100 to $200. So until unless they reach a specific point like 5L or 6L will not have any value,
Okay.
and they won't
So
get a price fixed price also like 4L is now like $100 or $125. They won't have any value like that. They will
yes.
only be basically used as a pronounceable names, pronounceable brandable names. Otherwise, no future, I would say.
Mhm. And also, I have seen a lot of companies, they are not avoiding acronym domains, but a lot of them recently like to have two words domains, two keyword brandable, rather than
Mhm.
having, let's say, 5 letter or 6 letter. This is I
Right.
don't say that 5 letter and 6 letter doesn't have value, but I
Mhm.
have seen regarding name bio and also some of the domain that I sold, I have seen that a lot of companies and startup want to
Mhm.
have two words rather than acronyms. So do you agree too,
Right.
or you have a different point?
Hey, I will agree with that because rather than making getting a name which doesn't make sense, it's always better to have a two-word name and which can basically define the service or the product of your company. It's always better. Okay,
Mm.
rather than going for some random generated five-letter keyword, like five-letter word or six-letter word.
So
Because the pronunciation, if because these are basically brandable names, and if brandable name doesn't give a good pronunciation, then it's a waste. The reason being is because we are basically from different parts of the world, okay, and the pronunciation, the spelling for each of everyone is different. So if suppose there is a word called I say my name only Zoeba, okay, then the person in the US will pronounce it differently. Okay, you will pronounce it differently. I will pronounce it differently. So I don't basically suggest to go for these five-letter names. I will always suggest to basically companies to suggest for two-word domain, English domain, English words actually,
Mhm.
so that it makes more sense to the whole world.
So regarding the acronyms and 5 letter words and 6 letter words, what are the letters that you avoid?
The list is basically like I basically avoid X is there. I always avoid V. I always avoid V if V is in the front, like it's the very first letter, then only I buy that domain. Otherwise,
Mhm.
I don't buy that domain. Even I avoid Z also.
Mhm.
But if it's a three-letter, then I will buy it. Okay, and if it does have a pronounceable thing, okay, it's pronounceable, then I will buy it. Otherwise, I really buy four little domains. I just avoid it
Mhm.
because now
Yes.
the random characters are left. All otherwise, all domains are sold or are taken by the big shot domainers. So you
Mhm.
will not find it. So what left is a scrap.
Yes, for me also, I also avoid G with the point. I avoid G. I avoid X. I avoid H. I avoid also Q. But Q
Okay,
in some different situation, I use to
right.
use it. Like for example, IQ. I use it. Sometimes I avoid also
Okay.
F because we get confused with F and PH, because
Mm-hmm.
some domains that doesn't respect the radio test. I also try
Right.
to go not going for that, to not have a confusion, because there is some people that knows about the radio test and all that stuff, and also there is a lot of companies that they uh, don't give don't give much importance to that, because they want this name, they like this name, they fall in love in this name, so they will buy the name even if it have 4x and everything like that. So one more question is, what is
Sure.
the main place or the marketplace that you made a lot of success on it? For me, I sold many domains on dan.com as an
Mm-hmm.
outbound, and inbound I made a lot of sales in Afternic for end users, and also on
Mm-hmm.
GoDaddy auctions, because sometimes I put the buy it now with a make offer in GoDaddy
Good idea.
GoDaddy auction. So also domainers can give me their offers. So for you, what are the places that you made a lot of sales?
For me, Dan and Afternic has been a great success. I for Cedo, it has been only 2 or 3 sales, but my maximum sales are through PayPal. Actually, when I do outbound, so maximum sales are coming from this PayPal or Pioneer.
So direct payment.
Direct payment. I have been using, because I have been into this industry. Actually, I work for overseas clients through my company Redbox Technologies. So I'm having a Pioneer account in PayPal. So I used to basically ask them to basically deposit the money into my Pioneer bank account or to my PayPal. You can transfer the money to PayPal also.
What about marketplaces, the other marketplaces like Squad Help, Brand Bucket, Rooted, Brand
Squad Help, with Brandable, I don't have a much success except one domain which basically I sold last year. It was PA1D. It was sold for $3,300. Apart from Brandable, I have some names with Squad Help, but no, I don't have any domain with Brand Power, Brand Bucket. I used to have one domain with Brand Power, but I sold it to the other domainer.
Okay, that's awesome. For me, I get a sale on Brand Bucket quite in my first year, because before that I didn't use the Brand Bucket and Brand Power and Squad Help. Mainly I was only listing the domain on domain marketplaces, but recently I started sending and getting some names approved on Brand Bucket and Squad Help. I get a sale on Brand Bucket, but still didn't make any sales until now in Squad Help, and keep growing more and more domains there. So mainly I for brandable marketplaces I made only a sale on Brand Bucket. I don't say that Squad Help isn't good enough, but as I always say to my audience, each brandable marketplace have their own customer. So maybe your name didn't find yet the right customer to get this end user, but believe me, if the domain was approved in these marketplaces, this means that this company have seen a value on this domain. So just wait for it. Regarding the waiting time, for example, let's say you get a name today. How long will you stay for this domain? How long will you hold this domain until you drop it if it was not sold?
For brandable thing or for geonames?
No, for me, for geonames, you keep it, you let it down in the first year if it was not sold.
If it's not sold, then most of the names I basically drop in the first year, but there are few names which I'm still holding them. Okay, and I have basically full faith that they will sell for 4 figures. Okay, some geo names I'm having. And regarding this Squad Help and all, actually I've made not one sale. There are a couple of sales, but they are basically in the wholesale market, in their wholesale market. And I bought a lot of names from wholesale market also. And the best thing I like about Squad Help, which I will like to tell the audience, is that you can basically practice your brandable niche on Squad Help. Squad Help is having a feature where basically you can submit an unregistered domain to them, and if they approve that domain, then they buy that domain and approve that domain, and then you get the commission of 20 to 25% of that domain instead of they take the 70 to 75% of the chunk, and you get the 25%, 20 to 25% of the value. So it is a very good thing. It's like a domain, brandable domain game. You can play with them. Okay, submit lot of domains without using a credit. Okay, without using a credit.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can practice that thing also. If you are if you don't have a money, not at all if you are having a zero money, then you can basically list out the domains from the expired domains list. 2 words, of course, 2 words, not 3 words. 2 words or a pronounceable word with 6 or 5 letter characters, and you can list them. Try to list them. You submit it to Squad Help and try to list them and under that unregistered domain category. Okay.
Yes.
There is some category actually, and it is very helpful actually.
So mainly, thank you so much, Mr. Hitich, to taking time to be a guest here in my audience. My people knows you, and they really appreciate the time that you share information with your audience and my audience. So even me, I learned a lot from you and from Urban Skill. As I said, I will share the link in the description box. And thank you so much again to be here. And
Thank you. Thank you very much to all the audience of Mr. Mrkehel and to Ayub also. Thank you very much.
thank you.